If you're an entrepreneur or a leader who's done the personal development work, whether that's therapy, coaching, courses, all of it, and you're still getting triggered by client emails, still lying awake at 3 a.m., replaying conversations, and still feeling that tightness in your chest when things don't go to plan or you have that difficult conversation, this might be the most important thing you hear today. Hey there, beautiful human. I'm Dan Kalowski, and I started as a physiotherapist, running a series of clinics across Sydney, worked in elite sport. And so I've studied the body at that deep scientific level. But I've also spent years studying the mind, human behavior, the psyche, and how it all interacts together. And for over a decade now, I've been working with founders and leaders on nervous system health. And here's what I've noticed. Some of the smartest, most self-aware entrepreneurs and leaders that I know have done years of personal development work, and yet they're still getting stuck in the same reactive patterns. And look, I'm not anti-talk therapy, not at all. But in this video, I'm going to walk you through why mind-only based approaches miss something fundamental about how stress and trauma actually move through your system. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's been missing and how to actually complete the stress cycles that are keeping you reactive instead of responsive. You'll know why your body has been trying to tell you something that your thinking cannot solve. And so let's explore this together. All right. So first, let's talk about what actually happens in your nervous system when you get triggered or reactive. Your body is designed to respond to stress biologically. There's a natural rhythm, activation when you need it, relaxation when you don't. But when we only work with our thoughts and interpretations and perceptions, we miss that our body is holding on to incomplete responses. Think about it. You can analyze why that client email triggered you. You can understand the childhood pattern that may be causing that trigger. You can make perfect sense of it cognitively. I get it with my conscious mind. But your body, it's still responding as if the threat is happening right now in this room. That tightness in the chest when you open your inbox, you read that email, you have that conversation. It's not irrational. That's your nervous system doing exactly what it's designed to do, to protect you. Traditional talk therapy keeps you in your thinking brain, analyzing, understanding, making sense, and that's valuable. That understanding matters, it's useful. But your body is holding patterns that thinking alone cannot reach. And rather than holding, it's expressing these patterns. That toxic client situation from 5 years ago, the business partnership that imploded, the public figure you moved on from. You've processed the story millions of times, but has your nervous system completed its response? Or are you still carrying that activation in the system, that contraction, that vigilance? And I want to be clear. This isn't anyone's fault. It's not your fault. Western culture, traditional education, even most leadership training doesn't teach us this. We've been conditioned to believe that if we can just think about something enough, understand it deeply enough, we'll be free from it. But healing isn't just cognitive. Growth isn't just mental. Your body has wisdom that your thinking mind cannot access. And until we honor both mind and soma, the body, we're only working with part of the picture. Now, let me be clear. It's not that the body is holding on or storing anything. The body doesn't keep the score. It is the scoreboard. It reflects what is being held in the low brain that cannot simply be processed by the thinking mind. So you might be wondering, what does this actually look like in practice? How do we work with the body, not just the mind? Let me show you what becomes possible. So mind-based therapy focuses on the upper left quadrant. Your thoughts, your beliefs, that's your internal subjective experience. Yeah, your feelings, your thoughts and interpretations and the stories, all of those live there. Absolutely important. But it's only 1/4 of the whole picture here. Somatic work addresses the upper right quadrant, your observable physiology, your breathing patterns, the tension in your shoulders, the tightness in your gut, the actual biological processes happening in real time and in that low brain, the incomplete reflexes that might be living there. This is mind somatic integration, not just mind or body, but both together. So, what does this actually look like in practice? How we breathe is how we think. Your breathing pattern right now is information about your nervous system state. Put your hand on your chest right now. Just notice the breath. How's it behaving? Are you breathing into your chest or into your belly? What's the rhythm and what's the pace? If you're breathing shallow and fast, your nervous system is in activation mode. And sometimes that's exactly what you need. If there is a genuine threat, if you're in a high stakes presentation, if you need to be sharp and focused, that pattern serves you. But if you're breathing that way whilst you're checking an email, while having a normal conversation, then there's no actual threat. Then your body is running a pattern that doesn't match your reality. And over time, that's exhausting. You have cortisol at a residual level that's constantly being pumped out and wearing down your nervous system. This is where somatic work becomes powerful. It's not about forcing a change. It's about expanding your options as to how you can respond. What other patterns are available to you? What other tools does your nervous system have access to? Can you meet this moment with a different quality of presence that it actually requires? This is where body-based work opens doors that thinking can't. Take breath work, for example. There's mind-based breathwork techniques like box breathing or Wim Hof, where your mind directs the breath. Incredibly useful, particular time of day, particular phase of life. But there's also body-based breathwork. The technique we use is facilitated breath repatterning, or FBR. It allows your nervous system to take over. And when that happens, entrepreneurs and leaders we work with can access pre-verbal conditioning. That's conditioning from the first 3 years of your life and onwards. Before you had language, prior to language, before you could make stories about your experiences, the foundational patterns that shaped how you relate to stress, to success, to connection, that all happened as a result of movement, sound, and touch. So no amount of talk therapy can access that. Not because talk therapy isn't valuable, it absolutely has a role, but because this content lives in the deepest part of your psyche that is untouched by language. This is the work we combine in our deep dive retreats for founders and in our embodied nervous system program, integrating mind and body, not one or the other, but both. You're not just talking about patterns, you're feeling where they live, or where they get expressed. You're expanding your nervous system's capacity. You're completing what's been incomplete. And that changes how you show up in your business, in your relationships, in your life. And here's what nobody's saying loudly enough. Ignore your body and say hello to your grave. This is the reality of it. I don't say that to be dramatic. I say it because it's true. Founders and leaders, you can optimize your systems, scale your business, master your marketing. But if you haven't learned to allow your nervous system to regulate itself, you're building on sand. You know what the ultimate form of longevity is that nobody talks about? Nervous system health. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's not even a choice. You can be financially successful and biologically bankrupt. I've seen it too many times. Leaders who've achieved everything they wanted and their nervous system was absolutely cooked. But there's something even more important I need to share with you, because this is where most high achievers unfortunately get it completely backwards. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Most entrepreneurs and leaders I work with have this deep fear that if they actually feel their feelings fully, they'll lose their edge. Oof. They think it's either hustle and grind or it's soft and ineffective, but that's a false binary. What we're actually going for is what I call a relaxed intensity. This is meeting life fully, effectively, with an underlying layer of nervous system relaxation. Peak performance meets sustainable well-being. You don't lose your edge, you actually sharpen it because you're not propping anymore. You're not forcing activation from a depleted state. You're accessing authentic activation from a regulated foundation. So, what does it mean to fully feel your feelings? It means when anger comes up, you don't immediately therapize it or rationalize it or manage it. You let your nervous system complete the fight response. Maybe that's moving your body. Maybe that's shaking. Maybe that's making a sound. Ah, big sigh. When grief shows up, you don't stay positive and bypass it. You honor the freeze, the contemplation as part of the cycle. You cry, you slow down, you let the parasympathetic nervous system do the job. This isn't about becoming emotional in your board meetings. This is about having a practice, whether that's breath work, whether that's working with a somatic practitioner, whether that's movement, where you actually complete these responses, these stress responses in your body that it needs to complete. And I get it. We invest heavily in business strategy, in leadership development, marketing, in optimizing all of our systems, and it's all essential. But we often overlook the foundation, the nervous system that's running it all. Here's the thing, this sort of work takes time. The nervous system needs time to integrate. You can't hack this. You can't 10x your way through trauma processing, but rapid transformation is possible. And when you do this work, when you actually complete these cycles, you become responsive instead of reactive. You can receive feedback without your chest tightening, and you can handle uncertainty without catastrophizing. You can lead from a place of authentic presence instead of controlled performance. And that changes everything for your business, yes, but also for your relationships, your health, your actual experience of being alive. It adds years to your life. Does that make sense? Look, if anything I've shared today is landing for you, if you're recognizing that you've been trying to think your way out of something that needs to be felt, I work with entrepreneurs and founders and leaders one to one, specifically around this. It's nervous system based work that integrates all four quadrants, not just your mind, but your body as well, your relationships and your systems. If you want help with any of this, there's a work with me link in the description below. Have a look at the quick explainer about who I can help and who I can't. I'm pretty specific about this, and if it feels aligned, you can apply to work with me. I'd be more than happy to jump on a call personally and know that you'll be chatting to me, not some salesperson. And we can talk about building your capacity from the nervous system up. The link's there if you need it. But here's what I really want you to take away from this. You're not broken because therapy hasn't fixed you. You're a human being with a nervous system that needs something more than analysis. Start noticing your breath. Start tracking where stress travels through your body. Start asking, what does my nervous system need right now instead of what do I need to figure out? Surely you've done enough of that. That question alone will start shifting things. I really hope this video helps you get there. And by the way, if you're thinking, okay, so I need to work with my body more, hold on, because there's another trap I see all of the time. Body-based work alone can keep you just as stuck as mind-only therapy. So check out this next video where I explain why body-based therapy keeps leaders and entrepreneurs stuck and what you actually need instead. I'll see you on the other side, together in deep work, rest, and play.